You're watching the Egg Central Radio Network live stream. Stay tuned. Our next interview is coming up soon. For the latest agricultural news, market updates, and daily podcasts, visit us online at agnews890.com. We'll be right back.
Farm Fest is brought to you as a service by our friends at Spraytech. And Spraytech USA is the website if you want to check out their products. Going like gangbusters in, all over, but North Dakota, they are killing it. So if you're looking for the latest in nutritional needs for your crop, that's the place to go. We are down here in the home turf of the University of Minnesota Extension. We got Emily Kreckelberg. Am I saying that right? You're not going to hit me with a stick, are you?
Not this time.
Wow. Okay. We, of course, share a common friend. Angie Johnson is a compadre of yours. She's a farm and ranch safety director for NDSU. She's a specialist now, though. I got to make sure that I say that too. So have you talked to Angie recently? I haven't talked to her. She's been doing farm tractor safety and
I know. Summer is so busy for both of us because we're doing kind of the same program. So really busy with tractor safety, all those on-farm field days and those types of things. But Angie did text me this morning to wish me a happy Farm Fest.
Wow.
So shout out to Angie.
So what is your official title? Thank God the University of Minnesota is just a smidge better. They don't have these 18-word titles.
Right.
So, okay. Yes. So what's your title?
So my title is Extension Educator, Farm Safety and Health.
That's still pretty good. But
mine's kind of a long one too.
So on a daily basis, I'm assuming you're doing all sorts of different jobs. But today you are in the UMass tent. If you're going to UMass, what is the acronym for that, by the way? It's basically farm safety, right?
Yeah, so UMass is the Upper Midwest Agricultural Safety and Health Center. So they are one of 11 U.S. ag centers sponsored by NIOSH across the country. And we're very fortunate that they happen to be based at the University of Minnesota.
Okay.
So, yes, they do a wide variety of work on education and outreach. And then myself and Extension partner with them to bring the farm safety and wellness pavilion to farms.
Yeah, farm safety, I think, is ever changing because technology is always changing. I had learned recently about a tool that a fire department in Minnesota had for grain bin safety. And I was explaining that to you. We met one of the firefighters from Gibbon, Minnesota, and they had a trailer made up for grain bin safety. And I'm all about anything to help the farmers, the rescue folks, deal and be able to get folks out of grain bins or whatever situation, PTO or whatever it happens to be that they're in trouble with. But the sad news is, no matter how many times, Emily, that we talked about this, I don't want to sound like I'm lecturing, but we're still seeing stories of people getting trapped inside of grain bins, Minnesota, North Dakota. It doesn't matter. It's tough. There was an article recently that at least one of the safety tips maybe don't go in alone. So if you were going to have to work inside a grain bin, make sure you have a second person. Any other words of advice that you have, or what's it been like for the grain bin? You probably have a long list. It's only a 10-minute segment, but
yeah, there's so much, and you're right, Eric. We did recently lose another person here in Minnesota in a grain accident, and so it is always an unfortunate reminder. Yes, the additional work we still need to do, and I always say there are very few reasons to go into it, but I understand sometimes you do need to go in there to assess something or clean or whatever. But yes, making sure somebody knows you're in there or is right outside the bin.
And we're kind of getting the grain bins ready, right? I'm hoping most people have got their crop sold, but that's not always the case. They're still selling or they're still moving grain around, getting ready for the fall harvest. So.
Right.
Mental health is another issue that has been huge. We try to do as much as we can on it. I know that the university is doing what you do, I know NDSU does, but I also know that the Minnesota Department of Agriculture has got programs. So how are we doing with the fight and trying to educate farmers out there and taking care of themselves and good mental health practices?
Yeah, it is always hard for farmers, especially, to think about taking care of themselves. They're very good at taking care of everyone in the region. And so, we're continuing to have these conversations, and I've been in this mental health farm stress space for about 6 years, and there's definitely been forward momentum. You know, there are people more willing to talk about their mental health, more willing to share their story with their own mental health. And of course, here in Minnesota, through the Department of Agriculture, we have our 3 agricultural mental health specialists that provide direct services to farmers. And I know that those 3 are staying quite busy. I mean, we're talking hundreds of calls per month. So it's unfortunate, but it also is so great that we have a resource that can put it.
Are a lot of those funded? I mean, so like the farmer needs help or he's struggling or he wants to talk about things, and the simple truth is a lot for different reasons, financial or family members, whatever the reason, maybe it's health or. But there are plenty of services that don't cost anything.
Correct, yes. So through the Department of Agriculture and through funding from the state legislature, like I mentioned, we have these 3 rural mental health specialists, and yeah, they are no cost, no paperwork. Farmers call them directly, so they aren't even talking to a receptionist or anything, and they will come to the farm, they will meet with you in person at a neutral location, they'll talk to you over the phone, face-to-face is a little scary. So there's so many ways to access this, and again, it's all free. There is also a Minnesota Farm and Rural Helpline that's available, one number that's 24/7, free, and again, helps get people connected to resources they need.
I got loaded up when I was in the UMass.
Yes, you have all the literature.
I have
in
like
you.
3 of them, and I don't know how much. And this maybe is more Department of Agriculture, but are you familiar with the Minnesota Farm Bill? Probably not your
Not too
team.
much,
So,
no.
okay. How about the advocate program? Are you up on that?
Yeah, so the advocate program is really cool. The advocates themselves are farmers, or most of them are retired farmers, and they are really there to provide peer-to-peer support to farmers on whatever issue. So we know, farmers that have maybe been going through some legal problems, we'll work with an advocate just to have that support and guidance. You know, if you are needing some financial or nutrition help, they can help you. Same thing with mental health, right? Maybe you aren't ready to talk to a counselor, but you want to talk to an advocate maybe about what you could or couldn't do or what you're opting for. So they're a great resource, but they also, again, are farmers or were farmers. So they also get it,
So let's just cut to the meat and potatoes. Obviously, our signal gets well into Minnesota. So if there's somebody out there in the listening audience, and North Dakota has their programs, and probably a fair portion of them like with Minnesota. But if somebody's struggling right now, and I just need to talk to somebody, what would you recommend?
So I would recommend one of 2 things. One, if you are really wanting to speak to somebody Minnesota and agriculture based, you can find all the resources we've been discussing on mnfarmstress.com.
Okay.
So that'll take you to the webpage with all the phone numbers in it. But I would say if you are really finding yourself feeling pretty blue and down and like nothing is really going to help you feel better, then I would recommend calling that, which is the crisis line. And again, they can help not just in cases of being suicidal, but feeling very depressed or feeling very hopeless. And the nice thing about 988 as well, again, it's free, it's available nationally, that's a number you can dial from anywhere, and you still get connected to state-based resources.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Emily, again, you're here, and are you here? I'm assuming you're here all 3 days
Oh, yes.
of the show. So if somebody is coming to Minnesota Farm Fest, they can find you in the UMash tent. Are you making other shows too? Are you guys at the state fairs, for example? Are you at the state fair?
Yes, so we'll have some safety activities at the state fair in the 4-H building.
Okay.
So yeah, we do a lot of work there, and then that's kind of the end of my show schedule.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you can tag along with us or Angie.
Yeah, right. Well, I might need to come up to Big Iron. We'll see.
All right. Website for folks, like for an extension website, is there a good one that you'd recommend?
Extension.umn.edu/pharmacy.
Okay, love the vest. That is, did you get that from somewhere? It means that
So we ordered them for this year. The back says, "Ask me about farm safety."
nice. Why are you the only one wearing them then?
We have a few folks with them on. Yes.
Even they're like, we need to find Emily. She's in the yellow vest. I'm like, there's nobody in here in a yellow vest.
I'm always somewhere, right?
You're off doing something.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a bit of a hard time. Emily, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more of our coverage from Minnesota Farm Fest coming up on Farm Talk this afternoon. We are going to talk with Terry Werde. She is the president of the Minnesota Farmers Union. We've got folks from the Minnesota soybean growers, Scott Brusman. We're going to talk markets, and we've got some folks from the U of M, Morris. A bit about 150 today. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more of our coverage brought to you as a service by Spray Tech.
You're watching the Egg Central Radio Network live stream. Stay tuned. Our next interview is coming up soon. For the latest agricultural news, market updates, and daily podcasts, visit us online at agnews890.com. We'll be right back.